Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel Study with Me. First, I want to say I'm sorry for the lack of new videos this past few months. I've been busy with several projects, but I'm so grateful to see that many of you are still here watching and supporting the channel. Thank you for sticking with me. I'm excited to announce that I'll now be covering the entire IB Chemistry syllabus. We'll go through each subtopic in detail, and sometimes you'll notice certain subtopics are combined. This is because some concepts are easier to understand together. Each video title will clearly list which subtopics we're covering, so you'll know exactly what to expect. I'm also planning to create a dedicated IB Chemistry community where we can have live classes, a place for you to post your questions, and I'll work through them with you. Plus, I will discuss questions that follow the new IB syllabus style for each topic. Questions I've collected that will help you to prepare for your exams and deepen your understanding. If you're interested, please join my WhatsApp and Telegram channels. You can find the link in the description. Once we have a good number of students, I'll officially launch the community. Finally, please share this channel with friends who are also studying IB Chemistry. The more students who join, the more opportunities we'll have to grow and support each other in our studies. Right, this is the new IB Chemistry syllabus for the first assessment 2025. There are 6 themes available here. They are very big, not the same like the previous syllabus where it was divided into 12 units, 12 for standard level and something this almost the same number with also higher level. But here each theme is divided then into several topics which represents a broader conceptual area. But as you can see here, even for the topics after being divided, you can't really see the difference between standard level and higher level content. But it will be more clear at the subtopic level. Okay, here like right here. So where this topics are divided into several subtopics, so you can actually find this is the higher level for each topics. Okay. The syllabus is specifically highlights the content that is intended SL students based on the subtopics, which additional more detailed content is required for HL students. All right, so we see here in the okay, so the page 24, the program or the content, the outline I mean, are still the same with the previous one. With it has practical work 20 hours. Basically this is the experiment, and then the 40 hours for HL, 20 hours for SL. In collaborative science project, this is basically group 4, and scientific investigation, it's IA. All right, and you can see here the first theme is structure 1, cover the structure of matter from atomic particles and electron configurations to measuring substances with the mole and understanding gas behavior with the ideal gas model. And the second one, all right, explore bonding models, ionic electron transfer, covalent electron sharing, and metallic delocalized electrons, and link them to these bonds influence materials and properties. For the next theme is structure 3. It's about the periodic table and the functional group of organic compound. And Then reactivity 1, okay, it focuses on enthalpy changes, energy cycles, energy from fuels, and entropy's role in spontaneity, highlighting energy transformations in chemical reaction. And reactivity 2 examines the amount, rate, and extent of chemical change, focusing how much reactants are consumed, how quickly reactions occur, and the completeness of reaction. And the last one covers proton transfer reactions, electron transfer reactions, electron sharing reaction, and electron pair sharing reactions, focusing on different types of chemical reactions and how they involve the movement of protons and electrons. These 6 themes that IB has for the new IB chemistry syllabus. So these are the explanation how or the content or how the subtopics are present, okay? So let me just show you the subtopics and explain about it more simple, right? This one is a content statement, okay? This one, what students are expected to learn in the subtopic from the structure 1-1. So this is the expectation for you to learn. And for this one, okay, it's the outcomes, learning, and teaching. Basically, it's the goals for students' knowledge or skills by the lesson's end. And for this one, it's the guidance on coverage expected. It's such recommendations on the time and depth for specific content, which one that you need to know, which one that is not required. All right. And this one are the linking questions, questions that connect these materials with other materials or some prior knowledge to promote discussion and critical thinking. Right now, let's talk about the external assessment. Okay, so in the external assessment, there are 2 papers, paper 1 and paper 2. These exams will take place at the end of your IB program. It could be May or November, and together they make up this one, paper 1, 36%, paper 2, 44%. So together they make up 80%. They are the same for HL as well. So paper 1, 36%, paper 2, 44%. They make up 80% of your chemistry grade. So both percentage for paper 1, SL and HL are the same. Paper 1, 36%, and paper 2, 44%. So the total is 80%. Okay, the remaining comes from internal assessment. Okay, 20%. Or that also could be called the scientific investigation. It's an experimental project based on your own idea and supervised by your chemistry teacher after you've done several lab experiments. The timeline for this project depends on your teacher and can happen in either the first or second year of your IB program. The result of this project or the outcome is a lab report that will be assessed internally by your teacher and externally moderated by the IB. The good news is that you can now work on this project in a group, allowing you to help each other along the way. More details about the internal assessment will be explained later. Okay, so there is some information here where you can do that in a group, this one. Okay, I will talk about it more detail after talking about the external assessment more detail. Right. So for paper 1 has 2 sections. Okay, the previous one only multiple choice, only paper 1. There is no divisions, paper 1A or paper 1B. But for this new syllabus, it has 2 sections, paper 1A and 1B, that are to be completed together without interruption. Paper 1A consists 30 multiple choice questions for SL and 40 for HL. And the questions can be anything from theme 1 all the way theme 6. But for P1B, it has 25 marks. Database questions or questions on experimental work. And for HL, 35 marks. So for HL, paper 1 total 75 marks, 40 MCQ, and then 35 paper 1B. But for SL, total is 55 marks, MCQs 30 questions, and then paper 1B is 25 marks. All right. The hours also would be different. They're not the same. We'll talk about it after this. And for paper 2, okay, for SL, it consists of short answer questions and also extended response questions, okay, or database question. It could actually short answer. No, this one, paper 2. Short answer and extended response questions. Before, let me just talk about this. Yeah, I forgot to talk about paper 1B. So database questions and questions on experimental work. So for the type of question, it actually related to the experiments that are related to the course content. It could be identifying the problem based on experimental data provided. It could be completing the data and evaluation, any evaluation or conclusion, interpreting data or graphs, identifying variables like independent, dependent, and controls, errors, or etc. That would be around 25 marks, yeah, for SL and 35 for HL. And for paper 2, what about this style? They're the same. Database and question on experimental work for HL. And paper 2, the style also the same for SL and HL. The difference only the marks, because you know HL got more content to cover. So it has short answer and extended response questions. All right. So short answer questions require brief, focused responses where you need to address the questions directly. And extended response questions require longer and more detailed answer, often involving explanation and analysis, allowing for depth and of thought and reasoning. And it's 1 hour 30 minutes. And paper 1 hour 30 minutes. Let's see for HL, paper 1 2 hours, SL 1 hour 30 minutes. So you've got 30 minutes extra for HL. And for paper 2, you've got 1 hour extra. And marks is 90, but for SL, the marks is 50. So 40 marks difference, yeah? It's a quite big difference. Okay, so we'll continue talking about the style for the paper. So this is the specimen paper. Chemistry, higher and standard level. Okay, so specimen papers, there is no exams has been done for the syllabus yet, so we could only refer to the specimen. So basically, this is for HL. So usual MCQs where it has the option answer A, B, C, D. 40 questions for HL, and 30 questions for SL. And then we continued to paper 1B, right? And the thing is, the previous syllabus doesn't allow paper 1 for students when they do paper 1 to use calculator and the chemistry data booklets also was not provided, but this time both chemistry data booklet and computer are allowed for both SL and HL and for both paper 1 and paper 2. Okay? Here, a calculator is required. And a clean copy of the chemistry data booklet is also required. And the maximum mark for paper 1A and paper 1B is 75 for HL. So both are allowed to use calculator and chemistry data booklet. Of course, chemistry data booklet will be provided by your school and a clean one. Okay, so this is example of the paper 1B. So this is how the paper 1B database questions look like. As you can see that there is also data or paragraph or graph provided by the question. So you need to know how to interpret and analyze this data or graph to answer the question. And also this type of question where you need to know how to identify the two variables here and suggest why, what's happening, or maybe the errors. This is what I just mentioned, what kind of questions that you will find in the paper 1B. Let's see paper 2. Okay, this is paper 2 again. Of course, chemistry data booklet is required and calculator is required as well. So you can see that in paper 2, there are some short answer questions. Okay, direct, where it needs brief focused responses, where you need to address the questions directly. State the molecular formula of HX, direct, or identify a functional group from this. Okay, and also the one that needs some stuff, or you need to understand, or you need to respond the question or answer the question where it involves explanation and analysis. So you need to analyze this information in order to answer the question in paper 2. Okay, let's go back to the internal assessment. Right. So in internal assessment, here is the outcome. So the outcome is a written lab report, right? Maximum is 3,000 words. So it's not by the page, but it's 3,000 words, not included charts and diagrams, data tables, equations, formulas, and calculations, citations, bibliography, and headers. All right, and you need to have this. Your teacher will guide you for this one, but just so you know that a written lab report is the outcome. So don't put so much pressure on the experiment, because sometimes I found students they put so much pressure on the experiment. Oh, this experiment is not that very good, but the most important thing, the very, very important things, that before you start your experiment, do a trial and error. Okay? Because, for example, when your teacher asks you to do to find or to do research for your internal assessment, what kind of experiment that you will do, right? Because this is based on your idea, and you actually already prepare everything, or this experiment that I would like to do, and then you prepare the background information, you prepare the methodology, research question, blah blah blah, everything. And then once you do the experiment, it doesn't work, and you don't know what to do, and you become stressed, and the hours getting finished. I mean, that your teacher will choose the time, right? And this would be for all students. Your friends, their experiments already work, or are working, but your experiments stuck, like you don't know what to do because it's just not working, right? So it's very, very important to have a trial and error. Maybe you can ask your teacher, okay, you have several ideas. So before you start your real experiment, like I want to do this experiment, you need to research some possibilities or some experiments that you would like to do. And again, don't do something new that you never find it. I mean, on literature, like you need to find something that is already there and you manipulate them with change some independent variables maybe or dependent variables, because you are not a master or PhD students. Okay, you are IB diploma students. So you find an experiment that you know you could do, and there is some methodology that is already provided, and you can change it or you can modify it. That's how you do or you find your idea. All right? And then don't stuck only with one experiment. Find 3 or 4 that you think that you could do, and then you can choose the one that is so or give so much interested for you. Interest like that is very interesting for you. And then you do trial and error. It works, and directly do the manipulation, do the modification for the methodology. But of course you need to find out the research question or formulate the research question for each of these ideas, and go first with the one that you are very um, i mean that interesting for you. And then if it doesn't work, and then you move to the second one, then you can have your procedure. You modify the procedure and you start looking for the background information, and you know that this experiment will work, and then you provide all the draft and you start working, and you will not be stuck. Okay, so let's go back to the explanation of the scientific investigation. So the weight is 20%, and the outcome is a written lab report, 3,000 words. It doesn't include this part. And the overall process is 10 hours. I believe that sometimes it could be more than 10 hours. And it is completed your IB chemistry grade for 20%, 80% of your external assessments, 20% from this one. And also, here there is a new rules where you can work in a group. Okay, but first, each student is expected to formulate, investigate, and answer a unique research question. So it means each student develops their own methodology to answer their individual research questions. The students might seek support from peers when collecting data only. Okay, so the methodology for individual work. Before that, you can organize your own group, where you're not allowed to have the same report. There is no a group report. Okay, it's an individual report, because you have your own research question. The research question should be different with other students, even though you are in the same group. You can work with the same plan with different research questions and manipulating different things. For example, independent variable. So different independent variable, but the same dependent variable. Example, when you want to find out about the rate of reaction of a specific chemical reaction, there are 3 students, only up to 3 members in one group. One investigate the effect of the temperature, the other one pressure, the other one concentrations. Okay? Or selecting variables during field work. Or maybe same independent variable, different dependent variable. Okay? And the methodology will look similar, but the way how the research question should be different. So then the lab report will be different. And the internal assessment has 6 criteria. Okay, this one. Before it has personal engagement, but now there's no personal engagement. So only research design, data analysis, conclusion, and evaluation. Total 24. So if you got 24, you get that full 20%. All right, these are the criteria. We'll talk about this more detail later on. So there will be a section where we will be talking this scientific investigation much more detail, how you can get 24 points. All right, so now let's talk about the grades. This is the grade boundaries from the May exam 2024. First, with your final grade, I mean your expectation to get score of 5, 6, or 7. Of course, we all expect to get score of 7, but just so you know that you don't need to get 100 to get score of 7. Okay, first, we've got time zone, 2 time zones for May. Time zone 1, time zone 2. Time zone 0 for November exam. So the different time zone on is different based on where you are located. All right, whether you're in Asia part or in America or Europe. So the difference of time zone, there are 2, time zone 1 and time zone 2. The range actually is not that much different between time zone 1 and time zone 2. So this range actually is to give you an idea of the overall scope. The numbers may vary slightly from year to year, but the difference are not significant. All right, so this is for time zone. This is for time zone 1. Yeah, this is for time zone 1. And you need to follow wherever you are located. And the range is the range is from 1. Okay, from 1 to 7. So to get 7, you only need to get 76. But wait, this is for paper 1, paper 2, and your scientific investigation, not only paper 1. Okay, so for internal assessment, this is the paper 1 more. Okay, 34 question for HL. You need to get 34 questions minimum to get that point or score of 7. And for SL, 24. So total with scientific investigation, okay, it's 76 for HL, 73 for SL. Time zone 1. And let's compare with time zone 2. 77. So only 1 point that is different. 77 for HL, 72 for time zone 1 is 73. And you see that higher level paper 1 here is 30, but the other one is 34. Yeah. Okay, this one is 34. All right, so be careful that this overall, it means paper 1, paper 2, and scientific investigation. Right, so the range does change from year to year, and it depends on the student's performance on the paper 1 and paper 2. However, the changes are not very significant. It might be 1 to 3 points. And here is what IBDP chemistry about, the new IB chemistry syllabus. So we have talked about the syllabus content that contains 6 themes with their topics, and also how it is divided to be subtopics. And we can see that there is no clear difference or distinction between SL and HL if we see from the themes or topics point of view, but you can only know when we talk per subtopics. And also the weight of external assessment, the type of example of questions for both paper 1 and 2. And we also talk briefly about internal assessment or scientific investigation, and also the grade boundaries. So in the next video, I'm going to cover the first theme, and you will find which subtopics that I will be covering. I will not cover the whole theme in one video because some themes are, yeah, the themes are very, very huge. So for each theme, maybe it will take hours to cover. So it will be not much, it won't be that much good for you, because you will get too deep or too heavy information. So I will divide it per subtopics, and you will find what subtopics that I will be covering from the title. All right. So thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to share it with friends who might benefit. Be sure to join the WhatsApp and Telegram channels to stay updated on the community, where I plan to hold live classes, answer your questions, and work through IB style exam questions for each topic. Your support means everything for me. Let's build this community together, and see you in the next video.